Hey there, I guess we're live. So, welcome. Going to talk about becoming narcissist free or staying free of narcissists in your future and how to withstand, how to understand, how to learn about, and basically not be susceptible or as susceptible to the emotional manipulation that people do early on when they meet you, early on in relationships, or even over time, slowly, right? How you can learn to recognize and keep yourself free from toxic relationships in your future. So, there's a lot of ways to look at this, right? Hey, everybody. There's a lot of ways to look at this because there's a lot of things in play here. And everyone is individual and everyone is unique. Okay. So you're all going to have your own, you know what? There, that's better. That's something partially covering the camera. Anyway, you're all going to have your own version of why and how narcissists slip into your reality and how they what for you is your draw or attraction or what's the magnet, right, that makes them drawn to you and you to them, even though we don't want to think of it that way, but really that's partially what happens. What are the places for you? I mean, only you're going to know that, and that's where that self-discovery needs to come in, and it's going to be individual, but we'll talk about some other tips for how to do this. Okay, so when you have been with a toxic person, and especially when you've been raised by toxic people, let's start there. When you've been raised by toxic people, your reality and what you consider love and what you consider normal relationship, normal interactions is, uh-oh, ah, sorry, it's about to ring off the phone. Okay, is your what you consider normal in relationships is toxic behavior because it's what you were trained and taught and you grew up with. You don't know any different. So you're going to have to understand and accept that your reality is not one that was you weren't taught healthy things. You weren't taught healthy interactions, healthy boundaries, healthy connection even. You were taught really toxic connection where it is transactional and it is all the things. And well, we're not going to go into a long list of that because that's another topic. But so pay attention to what it is you were taught growing up and what it is you wish for in your life and see where that conflicts and where you can make changes to heal the parts of your life you need to heal. And that is going to be, again, a super individual thing. So for that, seek therapy, seek coaching, seek groups, support groups, self-help, whatever it is, start digging into your healing. Here's the thing. One way to stay narcissist free is to make them over there and you live here in your life. Okay? You live in your life, not in mine, right? You live in your own life. You stay in your own lane. You focus on you. That isn't selfish. It isn't self-focused. It isn't bad. It is just a way of seeing the world so that you can operate from your own choice and your own understanding of yourself instead of trying to please and go out there and like be entangled in other people's lives. And healing your life is a step-by-step thing. Healing from the toxic, narcissistic things that have happened to you from toxic people is it's kind of number one. It's really difficult to be not fully, I don't want to say fully healed. I don't think we need to be fully healed. What we need to do is have a healing path and have understanding and awareness of where our weak points are so that when people approach us with manipulations, with boundary crossing, with all the stuff that toxic people will do, we recognize it. And we recognize, oh, here I go wanting to people please again, or here I go wanting, this is just like my childhood. I don't want to repeat that pattern. It gives you a pause so that you can make choice as to whether to proceed with that friendship, relationship, or whatever, or not. Okay, so healing is important. Discovering what it is that you are drawn to in those toxic relationships. And I don't mean you're drawn to the toxic. I know that most people aren't, okay? They don't want it. So it's what are you drawn to subconsciously? Does that make sense? What are you not seeing? What about it are you not seeing that you need to see? Kathleen saying she won't stop calling and messaging me, asking me asking my daughter what's wrong with me. You know what? And this is the thing, when they are pestering you, okay, this is another topic, how to stay narcissist free as you can when you're trying to go low and no contact, right? Kathleen, don't let me forget to reply to you. I'm going to keep going with this, and then don't let me forget to talk to you. Okay. So maybe some of this will help as well. So become more you. This could speak to this, Kathleen, a little bit. Become more you. Who are you? Okay. Do you have a relationship with yourself where you recognize the feeling in your body, what it feels like to be you? If you don't, it's time to start discovering it, because a narcissistic person, they are going to pull you so far off center that you lose yourself. Okay. If you have a strong sense of self, if you have a strong awareness in your physical body of what it feels like to be you, does that make sense? Like, the feeling, like, say, for me, it'll always be driving for some reason and hearing music. And there's a moment where it clicks in a certain song, I'll feel like myself again. Does that make sense? And it has nothing to do with, um, it's actually not myself. It's myself experiencing that song in a time that is probably throwing me to a memory of when I really felt free and like myself. Okay. So whenever I lose myself, that's one way. Or being with animals, being in nature, being, like I've said this a million times, like finding something that feels like you. And when you feel lost, coming back to that place, and over and over and over until you discover who you are. And hopefully over time, most of your life is spent in that space. You don't have to keep seeking it, right? When you can do that and someone starts pulling you off center and throwing you into their delusion, it's obvious. And so to stay narcissist free in that situation, you stay away from that person, you stay away from that situation, or we'll talk about what else you can do in a second. Okay. So learning to discern, so understanding narcissism, understanding toxic relationships, understanding, and it's not just narcissism, any cluster B personality trait, understanding them, understanding that that is how that that other person's brain functions, that is how their personality functions. It is not something to change in them, and is not something to fix in them. It is not your business. It's their business. That is how they are and who they are. Understanding it separate from yourself. Yes, we have to understand how it affects you. You have to understand the way that it feels to be around it so that you can recognize it, right? But understanding it so that you can spot it, you can sense it. The closer you get to becoming yourself, the more, the next point I want to make is your intuition opens up. The more you're able to recognize and trust your intuition. Most people watching this are intuitive. That's my guess. Okay. Because most narcissistic people go after intuitive people. Not everyone, some people, and it's not a bad or a good, it's not a judgment. If someone isn't as intuitive, it doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them toxic. Okay. Some people just aren't. They have a different gift in this life. Okay. But a lot of us are what people call empaths. I choose to use the word, have high levels of intuition and are empathically inclined. Okay. I don't like the label because I don't understand there's too many definitions of what it means, what people say. Okay. So if you're an intuitively aware person, but you're not trusting your intuition. So in other words, if you can see something outside yourself, like say you can see a situation between two people and you intuitively know what's going on. You just intuitively know what's going to happen next, what that person's going to say. If you're, you have this strong sense of that, but then you don't apply it to your own life because you don't trust it. You think you're being overly sensitive, or you are in states of emotional flashback and you're in states of emotional triggers, right? And so you can't trust it because you don't know if you're overreacting or not, right? So learning to heal yourself. And the first thing I said is part of this, where you learn how to work with your emotional flashbacks. You learn how to work with your triggers, which then cause emotional flashbacks. And you learn how to calm yourself. You learn how to recognize the difference between that energy and intuitive energy. I can feel the difference. Okay. I've had experiences where if I listen to my intuition and I just take care of the thing, it's fine. When I stop, I don't know how to explain this. There's a difference between fear and intuition, and you get to know the difference. Sometimes you're wrong, and that's okay. You're wrong, and you can just make another choice and do it differently, or just stay with the wrong. Who cares, right? We got to stop judging. We already talked about that the other day. Anyway, okay, so back to this. Understand narcissism. There are so many videos out there to understand narcissism. What there's not a lot out there of is how to move through this and how to move forward. Okay. And that's why we're talking about it right now. So if here, I want to repeat what I just said. Discover your intuition, discover your intuitive self. If you're not an intuitive person, what is your gift for knowing right from wrong, for knowing what's right for your life? For it could be logical. You could be an extremely logical person that doesn't have a whole lot of felt sense of intuition, but has a smartness, right? A cleverness about situations. Whatever it is, find your thing that you can learn to use as a gauge for other people and for the people in your life that you're letting in. Okay. And combine that with what you know about narcissism or toxic behavior in people, toxic manipulations, and all of that. And the more you understand and the more you contrast that with intuition, the easier it is to set boundaries. Okay. So, also, when you so if you are an intuitive person and you go against your intuition, you do the thing anyway, or you let the person in anyway, you have every right. Sorry, I squeaked. You have every right to make choice to do it differently. You can step out. You can set a boundary. You can make choice after that point. Just because you do something and it goes wrong or it isn't right or they turn out to be toxic does not mean you have to stay in it. And that's what we have to realize. We have been groomed, if we were raised by this, to take care of the needs of other people's emotional lives. And it's not true. We don't have to do that. Okay. So, okay, that comes back to staying in your own lane. I have this all written out, so that's why I keep looking down. I had to make notes because there's a lot of words here. So staying in your own lane means don't enmesh with other people, period. You be you, you let them be them, you watch what they do and who they are. Okay. And you give them enough chances and choices within the dynamic between you through the next things we're going to talk about. And if it's not working, you step away. That is one way to be narcissist free. You simply engage when they are proving themselves to be toxic and manipulative because you've learned what toxic and manipulative look like. Then you step away. We have to be able to say no. We have to be able to say this doesn't work for my life. All right. And that's not to say you throw people away immediately because they might have shown a toxic trait. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's what you need to do for yourself. Or maybe you're, more like me where, yes, I will watch, I will pay attention, I will ask, I will talk to the person about it. Not to say I'm right, you're wrong, but to say, hey, what's this? Why are you pushing my boundary or whatever? And see if they can relate in relationships. Narcissists won't. Toxic people will not relate in relationships. They will gaslight you. They will project onto you. They will name call. They will smear. They will go no contact or silent treatment and then come back and hoover, right? They will love bomb you. They will deflect. They will divert. They will not have a normal, healthy exchange with you. You're supposed to be able to. Okay. I have had situations in my group coaching where there have been upsets and disagreements, like personally between me and the person. Okay. And it has gotten to the point where I've had to hold a boundary line for myself. And I am sitting there just crossing my fingers they can do it because it's a learning moment. It's a disagreement between two people or a situation where somebody has their feelings hurt or somebody is triggered by something that's said is most likely what happens, because it's not like I'm like confrontational in there, but there is a confrontation of some sort. Okay. And it can be small or it can be big. To that person, it's huge. Okay. And so as I sit there with them I try and engage fairly with what is it that you're seeing? What is it that you're hearing? Now, I am willing on my end, and I know I am, to be accountable to what was said or how it was handled. And I have a hope that that person can too. When they can, it's a beautiful thing because they're learning boundaries and they're learning to speak up for themselves and they're learning to have healthy conflict, even though it's not really conflict, right? And it's been fantastic when that happens because that person grows, I grow, and the relationship between us is one of trust. Now, if I were to attack and blame and say, just shut your mouth, or whatever a narcissist would do, manipulate them to think that what they're saying isn't actually happening for them, right? I can say it's not happening in my world. What are you seeing? But I can't say that's not true. You don't feel that, right? So that's the difference, right? So we're looking for people to be fair to us. If they're not fair with us, goodbye. And don't engage. Okay, so stop people pleasing. This is another one. This is a huge topic with so many answers, and because there's so many different types of people, all right? So I'm going to keep talking. Stop people pleasing. Just stop it. Just stop it. Choose when you do something kind, giving, extra, right, for others. Choose it. Sure, don't stop giving unless you choose to. But don't do it for reasons like, I want them to like me. I hope that they think I'm okay. I don't want to be disapproved of. You know what I'm saying? If those are your reasons, look into healing codependency. Look into healing the people pleasing and why you're doing it, because it comes back to what I said before, learning about yourself and becoming who you are. You don't do that if you are being who you are. Okay. You can be a giving person. You can be a person that I enjoy helping others. Okay. I enjoy it. I have had to learn how to place boundaries. I've had to learn in my own personal life how to place boundaries there, or else I have to watch. Am I doing this so that people are happy with me, or am I doing this because it's just what I feel like doing right now, right? And or because there's a need and I see it and I can fill it, because sometimes it is okay to be self-sacrificing, so to speak, or as long as you're doing it from an intent of, okay, I can do this for this period of time, and then I have to stop. You know where your line is. You know where your boundaries are. Okay, so look into the codependency thing if that is you. Okay, and we can talk more about that. If you have questions, hit me up in the main comments, not the chat, if you don't mind, or talk in the chat now. If you're watching this later, add it to the comments. But okay, so a couple more things, and then I will go to the chat. So stop engaging with narcissists. Okay, guys, if you're trying to be narcissist free, and this comes back to the question about, or the comment about earlier, was it, I can't remember, started with a K. I'm not going to scroll back. I'll lose myself. Okay. With the mother that's, constantly coming at you and you're trying to stay low contact. Stop engaging. It is not your job to fix them. It is your job to run your own life. Okay. I keep doing this, but it's actually that. All right. So stop engaging, stop trying to win, stop trying to get them to see your side, stop trying to get them to see how they are, who they are, what they're doing, stop trying to get them to take accountability, stop trying to get them to do anything, stop needing from them anything. Okay. Your only engagement is your own feelings of obligation or your own need. Contact them with them for your own personal reasons. Okay. But it's not about the relationship with them. It can't be, because you will never have a healthy relationship with a toxic person. You can have a so okay one if you just step out of trying to need to make them be different. If you just try to stop getting them to change, be kind, be good, be what you need. If you stop needing from them, you can have a so exchange with them that doesn't feel quite as toxic if you have to, and if it's your choice to. All right. It's never going to be loving and squeezy. It's going to be what it is, because they're not going to stop. They're going to keep coming at you and doing the things. You just have to laugh it off. You have to be able to step outside of it. And with that, you become narcissist free, so to speak, because they're not getting in your head. They're not getting in your heart. Okay. And they're not manipulating what you believe and feel about yourself. That's where the line has to be. That's about boundaries. That's about you take care of yourself. You do all that, whatever. I don't have to engage with it. And the minimal amount of engagement you do, so what if they get mad? So what if they keep pushing on the boundaries if you don't care about their reaction, right? So I said learning red flags. Learn the red flags, guys. I've got millions of red flag millions. I have many videos on millions. That'd be a lot of time talking. There are many, many videos out there as well from different people talking about red flags. It's important. Okay, so learn them. And now I'm going to say the opposite. Stop learning about narcissists. Stop. Once you understand it, once you get it, once you can spot them, stop obsessing. It's sort of like you've got to find a new topic of interest. Stop making them your focus. Stop making them your topic of interest. You are your topic of interest. Your life, you moving forward, you becoming you, not you becoming a person that can spot narcissists. If that's what you want to be, then fine. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what then? What's left? I have to personally turn this stuff off in order to not be thinking about it all the time, because, I talk to people many days a week, often many hours a day, right? I'll come on here, I'll make videos, I will have groups 3 times a week, right? So it's a lot of immersion for me, myself, in the world of narcissists and the toxic stuff narcissists do. So I have to deliberately turn it off. I do not research. I do not watch other videos. I don't do a whole lot unless I need to. If there's something about narcissists, of course I keep up, but I can keep up with it through the people I talk to, right? Like, new things come all the time. If it's something I don't understand or I need to learn, sure, I'll dive into it. But I'm not going to sit and read every book out there on narcissism, because I understand it. I get it. And what I'm interested in is transforming a life that has been damaged and manipulated by toxic people into something that is what that person wants to become, what that person, their potential for themselves, what they choose for their life, what I choose for my life, right? And that's my journey now, is to close the door on that and move forward with what's next. But part of that is keeping in the community and educating others about it. But I have to draw the line. I have to turn it off, and I have to have focus on other things, on self, on family, on music, on animals, on whatever that isn't narcissist. So you guys, don't obsess. Don't 100% of your time cannot. When I was learning about this, I had a boundary with myself. It was whatever time I put into understanding and researching narcissism, I would put equal time into something for self-enrichment. And it kept me balanced. I felt like I was perpetually, like scales, balancing things. I just shut my notes. Anyway, so, okay. I'm rambling, I think. Let's see. I'm going to read you guys in just a second. I have just a couple more things. So, learning boundaries, I've said that a lot. Boundaries are the number one thing we have to learn in life as codependent people, so to speak, as people-pleasing people, as kind people, whatever. We have to learn boundaries. Boundaries are not mean. Boundaries are not cruel to others. It is not our place in this world to be here so other people can use us. Okay? People can ask and we can willingly give. Yes. But boundaries are important, and they are not mean. Okay? So we'll talk about boundaries. I think I'll talk about boundaries maybe next week. Let's do that live on Tuesday. If not, yeah, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but Tuesday. Okay. So let's stop there with the boundaries, and we'll talk more, because that needs a whole lot. Okay. When you are around people and you meet people, like, say, a new person in your life, and you start seeing where they're pushing your boundaries, you start seeing where they are questioning your reality or making you question your reality. You start see where they're telling you what to think and feel. You start noticing red flags. push back early. Okay. Push back early. That doesn't mean you have to slam the door. You could be discovering who they are. You could be seeing, is it me? Is it them? You could be in the question place, but push back early. Set those boundaries. Do not let someone cross your lines early on. If it can be fun. See, a narcissist will manipulate you often, the charming type. Oh, come on. Oh, what are you, wet blanket? Let's go. Let's just do the thing. They do it in a fun and charming way. Don't be charmed. Don't be charmed. Push back on charming. Okay. It's okay to be playful and fun. There has to be a line, and you got to trust your intuition with it. All right. So understand. Oh my gosh. Okay. Understand what gaslighting and projecting feel like. If you have experienced it, my guess is if you're here, you have. Think about it. What did it feel like? Where did you notice it? How did you notice something was off? Pay attention. You're all going to have your own answer for this, because that'll be a personal feeling, sensation, even in your body, thoughts, whatever, emotions. If you feel that, trust it. Something's going on. Okay. Something's going on. Trust that. So, and then you push back. That doesn't mean you have to like eliminate new people right away, because I don't want people to think they have to like run every time something seems a little bit red flaggy. Every single human being can have red flags. We just can. Okay. We're all flawed and kind of like damaged and have all this stuff, right? Everybody has something. So, but to stay safe, to stay safe, doing all these other things that I'm talking about while you're watching in that early stage. And if you see something that's a blaring red flag, step away. Don't think you can manipulate it back. Don't think you can win. Don't think, I'll show this one. Just step away. It's playing with fire. Okay. All right. What did I say here? Don't be fooled by the false empaths. Okay. When people say I'm an empath, to me, that's a red flag. I'm sorry, guys, it is, because narcissists will say that. If I don't know you, you don't need to tell me. Just be you, and I'll feel it, and you'll feel it. We'll feel it together, because we'll recognize it in each other. That actually made me want to cry a second. Weird. Okay. Probably because there's lots of you out there. Right. So does that make sense? We don't need to, don't advertise it. First of all, you say I'm an empath to someone, you're advertising to who? Narcissists, right? Like, forget it. Toxic people. If you don't need to. You can understand one another from that intuition, from that place of from the ability to connect as a human being, from the ability to connect deeply without knowing someone, without it needing to mean we're best friends forever, blah, 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 right? Just the feelings of connection. I have it all the time with people I don't even know, that I'm not I will never see again. And it doesn't matter. To me, that's the empathic experience that is beautiful. Right. And so don't advertise it. Don't look for it in others. Feel it and sense it in others. Okay. And then just watch the behaviors, because not all empathic people are healthy. There's plenty of toxic empathic people too, guys. There really are. It's not one and the other. It's what we've learned and how much emotional intelligence we're willing to grow, and how much work we're willing to do on the things that have been, confused up here, that make it difficult to have relationships. Okay. All right. One more thing. What did I say here? Self. Be and stay yourself. It's the truth. You just being more you. I am learning that the more me I am, the better life flows. And there's going to be a lot of people who don't like it. And then there's going to be those that are drawn to it. And it's not mine to care about, right? Like, that's not mine to care about. I can care about people either way. They don't have to like me for me to care. Right. And I don't have to be in their life to care about them. So, okay, let's go here and read what you guys are saying. Hello, UNA and Audrey. I'm way back at the beginning. Hey, and Chris. Thank you guys. And Barbara. And okay, Kathleen. Did I answer that a bit, Kathleen? I hope so. Let's see. Okay, so UNA is saying that's what I have to be careful and constant and consciously do. You said a good word there, consciously. We have to use our awareness and our consciousness to act instead of our emotions or our um, triggers, right? Okay. Step back, recognize, and step back into myself, even if they've been thrust into my life and there's no way to avoid them. Well, yeah, exactly. Um, Chris is saying she's learned that traits and behaviors are toxic because after being in toxic your whole life, you think it's normal. Yes. We were back at the beginning here. Okay, I think I'm going to start at the end and go backwards in case there's anything recent that we were just talking about. We're all occasionally capable of being toxic, says Barbara, according to another's perspective. Exactly. It's just an interesting point of view sometimes, right? It's somebody's point of view and your point of view that don't jive, right? So, okay. Let's see. Hi, Shastina. My children and I watched each of them try to really connect with Narcula as they were becoming of age. It was sad and hard to see each one fall as because he really truly can't connect with anyone. It is sad. It's sad to watch in children and in others, really, to watch the whole thing crumble. It isn't pleasant. Audrey is saying, my ex-girlfriend said she had more empathy than was good for her. She was a huge narcissist. It's a red flag. It really is. Narcissist, and I have to say, it's a female narcissist thing often. Not always, but it's more common, I think, with oh, I'm so giving. I'm always doing for other people. Because you know what? Narcissists can be codependent too. I have heard a lot about people in codependency communities saying, "Whoa, it's full of toxic people." So it can be nowhere is safe. No, I'm not truly. Actually, everywhere is safe if you know how to place the boundaries, right? Okay. My light looks weird today. Now I'm back in squirrel mode. Okay. And I've got allergies. I look like crap. Okay, sorry. I don't care. Kate, hello. Dealing with a malignant narcissist never ends. Balance and self-care really hard. He is nonstop threatening. Oh, it really is. And that's another topic when you have to be around a narcissist, you can't escape it because you're parallel parenting, really, or you are just for whatever reason you can't get away from it. And I've been talking about that a lot recently. But if you have specifics, Kate, let me know, and I will do another video on some of that. Let's see, Barbara, what are you saying here? It depends on your motivation for studying the topic. Exactly. If your motivation for studying narcissism, like I said, it's really important. It's important to understand it so much that it's almost boring. So much that you're like, oh, I see it. Oh, I see it. You're watching a movie and you're like, wait, that's narcissist. Who wrote this? Right? That's what I think. Are they thinking this is a good thing? Because that's totally narcissistic. But yeah. And then to be able to let it go and to have your own line of focus instead of it always being back to the narcissist, because it really will. It'll be attractive. You will be attracted to it if you keep doing it in a sense of like sleuthing it out and trying to suss it out in people, and so you'll spend too much time with people that you should just be turning away from quicker. Chantel, you're almost to that point, but I'd miss your lovely face. Well, that is why we're talking about other stuff. And Chantel, if you have topics that are unrelated, that are really about moving forward and like not so much focused on narcissists that you want to talk about here, please let me know, because I would happily, I mean, I am way more into the transformational aspect of this, about coming out of the fog that you've been in your whole life like a zipper and stepping through and becoming your own person and becoming who you were born to be. I'm way more into that personally. So, all right. Reduce their significance, says Travel Bug. You know what? Could have summed it up with just that. Reduce their significance, guys, for real. Yeah. Uh, let's see. When you read backwards, you kind of have to make sure you're not missing part of something. Congratulations on the 3 months no contact, Chantel. I see me married a long time. Husband doesn't rage anymore. He's made lots of changes. I feel like I have whiplash. Can't get over the past abuse. How to feel good about my marriage going forward? Feel distant. Oh, um, that would be really a personal thing. Do you believe they are narcissistic? Was there a reason? Was it like anger issues in a non-narcissistic person, or are they narcissistic? You know what? There's a time and a season. That's how I see things. Like, is this marriage what you want? I would have to get really real with myself if that were me. Is this what I want? Is this what I want going forward in my future? Um, do I want to keep going? And if the answer is yes, then I suppose you start from now and you have some firm boundaries. You work on you. You do everything I said in here. You learn about you. You discover who you are. If you've been married a long time, my guess is you don't have as strong a sense of self as you could, especially if you were living with a lot of toxic. So you have it be okay that part of your life is not within your relationship. And I don't mean like going outside and doing things immoral to yourself, right? What I mean is having interests, having friendships, having a workplace, whatever it is that gives you a place to be you outside of it. And you see if trust can be built from there. I don't know him and I don't know the dynamic. So I would never say trust a narcissist. I would say know that you're living with a narcissist if he is, and that has limitations, and that there's a way to do it and still have some level of healing, but you're never going to have the freedom, right, that comes without that person around. And then there's benefits to being with them too, of course, right? So it's super individual and super personal, and I would not trust someone who raged ever. I wouldn't trust it to not come back. I don't know how you could, right? Yeah. Are you answering here at all? Let's see. Yes, Barbara, the longer you sublimate your own needs, the harder it is to become assertive. Oh, yeah. And they expect you to stay the same, right? They don't want you to change. And that's the thing. Okay. Anyone have tips on caring for an elderly narcissist parent? Oh, CR, so hard. Depends on what they're doing, and how much care you're giving. Have a life outside of it. Don't bring your anything to them. I don't know what state of what their state is, right? Like what's going on with them, and what the care is about. But um, limit your time if you can. Are you full-time care? Are you part-time care? Are you just making sure they're okay? How much time do you need to put into it? If it's like part-time, or you visit them, like say I'm going to make up a scenario and you fill in the blanks because I don't know your story. Say you have an elderly parent and you go in every day and you take care of them. They also have full-time care. Is there a way to get anyone in to help you? Are you doing this solo? Um, and if not, start looking for resources. If it's financial, look for free resources. Look for anything, church groups, community centers, anything that you can get some respite care. Okay, you need respite care even with a lovely elderly person you're taking care of, even with a young person we all need it, okay? trying to get a nurse to help. Good. Okay. Once you have that nurse to help you, okay, until you have that nurse to help you, any moment you have in your day that is not taking care of them, fill it with self-care. And the way you can do that is, so you go to the bathroom, okay? They're not with you there, hopefully. You close the door, you take a deep breath, you do what you need to do. You wash your hands, you look in the mirror, you tell yourself you're doing a good job. You got this. You talk yourself through it. You take a few seconds to close your eyes and take some breaths for yourself. And okay, so when you shower in the morning, make it a place of sanctuary, make it a place of calm, of peace. Okay, when you're eating, thank yourself for cooking the meal. Talk to yourself up here with kindness and give back to yourself all the appreciation no one's giving you, because you're doing a really hard, thankless job right now. Okay, once you have the help, make sure you take the time away. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't let yourself judge yourself for taking care of yourself, okay? And find things that give you some space in your day, okay? And that's all I got for now, but those are some tips. And people are offering you advice, which is also great. Okay. Let's see. And I see me say, I call him out now when he's controlling or dismissive. And how does he respond to that? Does he listen? I mean, I think if you're going to stay and you're going to work within like I said, it's about holding your boundaries and then stepping out and having a life of your own. I say stepping out. I don't mean stepping getting out, okay? And having some time for yourself in your life. Oh, good. He listens. Okay. You're getting lots of tips here from CR. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, you guys, how long we've been here? 40 minutes. All right. So I think I'm going to end in a minute or two. Anything else you guys need today? Did I miss any? If I missed a comment, please ask. If I missed a question someone needs help with, I'm scanning back again. Let's see. Hey, Jack. Let's see. I was raised, I like Audrey says here, I was raised without boundaries, so my mother could enmesh. I'm finally free, 1 year, no contact, and now I have boundaries. Yes. One is to maintain no contact. There you go. Uh-huh. Mystique, hello. I am proud of the healing I have done. I was in a dark place for a long time before I realized I was going on and what was going on and pulled myself out of the funk I was in, took control of myself. That's really what it's about. I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. Well, not a million, but you know. We don't put ourselves in these positions. We don't ask for this treatment. Sometimes we're born into it. And it is us, though, that has to get ourselves out. It is you that has to pick yourself up and out of this. You can get help, you can get support, you can self-help it, whatever it takes, but you have to do the work. It's the unfortunate part of this. We have to get out of the mindset, right? And into a mindset of living our life. That's what we're here for, right? Okay. Okay. You're being harassed by a family member, Jackie? Ugh. Love the last video on spiritual narcissism. Everyone check it out, she's saying. Oh, good. I'm glad that was good. Okay. Being harassed by a family member. Ugh. What can you do to minimize your response to it? What can you do to shake it off, so to speak? I don't know what the harassment is or how pervasive it is. I don't know anything except that one sentence, but what can you do to not engage with it? Because it's sort of like when people smear. What are you going to do about it? Let them smear, right? Let them say it. You can refute it, but refute it once, and then that's it. After that, you can tell them stop. After you've told them stop and they keep harassing, what are you going to do? Keep record of it? Follows me to my job and home and screams nonstop. Record it in public. pull your camera out and record it. Take it to the police station and say, I need a protective order. This person is stalking me. They're harassing me. It's illegal to harass. If you can catch the proof, get the protective order. Okay. Yeah, protective order for sure. Have a dash cam or a body cam or just your phone. Record it if you're in public. In a public place, it's not illegal to do that as most places. So check with your state and your laws on how to catch the harassment and catch it and have it. Sometimes it's a hard boundary like that. All right. Okay, you guys, I need to head out and I will see you guys next week. Watch for more videos. I think I have one coming out tomorrow. I don't remember what it's about. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notifications button so that you get notifications of this when I go live. I'm trying to get here every Tuesday. This was an extra because somebody asked about it and it was way too long to type. So here it is. Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.